Hey guys, Brandon here with RAVEK. Today we're going to be installing the wireless Gen 3 turn signal kit and this U10 behind me. This is a 2026 model. We're going to show you what comes in the kit and then get into the installation. Inside this kit, you are going to have your main controller, which will be mounted up front underneath the hood. You're going to have your front indicators as well as your dash lights. You're going to have your horn with wire, power harness, which will be installed on the input side, your license plate bracket, two connectors for the back left and the back right connectors for the taillights, and that is where you're going to install our receiver boards. You get two receiver boards in here that will wirelessly communicate with the controller. By golly gosh, I almost forgot to mention the important parts. We have our Apex lights, a pair of them, that come back with a lifetime warranty mounted in the front, as well as our installation instructions with a link directly to this video. So we're gonna get started in the teardown. The first step you have to do is remove your hood. Simply pull out here. There are grommets up front you have to lift up, and this will slide right directly out of the grooves that you see here on the inside of the hood. Your bus bar is right here. That is what we're gonna connect the power harnesses into. We're gonna run some of our wires up underneath the cowling here and get them in behind the dash. We need to remove this section. Coming inside here, this is a little tough to pull out. It does take a little bit of force to pull them out of the grommets here. Once you get that out, you can push this or pick this up. You can disconnect it if you chose to, like this here, or you could leave it fully enclosed. The reason we're pulling this is we're going to take the wire from the column shifter, routing it through here, utilizing a wire fish. We've also chosen to mount our dash indicators up here on the right-hand side of the steering column because it is easy to gain access to from the bottom side. If you do not have an HVAC model, we would recommend putting them outside here where you have your vents on the left and the right-hand side of the steering wheel. One other item that we do always recommend doing when you're completing work on a vehicle is raising the dump bed of this. Your battery is right back here behind this panel. Remove the negative battery cable from the machine to make sure you don't have any arcing.
Hey, Sean with RAVEK. Going to show you how to make your connections on your Speakeasy kit real quick here. I know we call a lot of that stuff out, but just wanted to show you firsthand. On your power connector, we're going to plug that in like that. I happen to have a ring terminal one. It might look a little bit different if you have a Polaris pulse bar connector that you need to put in there, but it connects the exact same way on the brain box. The switches or the lever are the same. So like this one says turn signal and this one says turn switch. We just plug those in together. Same with the horn hazard and the horn switch. Plug those in together. So that takes care of everything on the input. On the output side, we have your rear extension, your left turn, your right turn, and your horn. So for your rear extension, we won't be using that. For your right turn, what we're going to do is we're going to take this guy and install it for your DIs and get that inside there. And then we're going to grab the right harness as well, which would be the front right. And then we're going to connect the short side to that and then run this out to your front light. Same thing with the left. Just make that connection real quick for you there. And then remember that short side out. And then with the horn, that's a very simple connection as well. So it says horn here and horn on that. We're just going to plug those together. Just keep in mind that these aren't polarity sensitive. So if you do have to flip them and unhook this at some point, it doesn't matter which way they plug into those.
Next step, with our rubbing alcohol dried or alcohol swab, we're going to hit it with a primer pad. This really sets the stage for your double-sided adhesive to adhere very well. Come down here to the lower front fender area. Again, this is where we're going to be mounting our Apex lights. Just want to scrub off any of the impurities, oils, cleaners that may be already on it. Just get that area a good clean surface. With our adhesive peeled on the back, we're going to take our controller here and attach it right up front like so. Apply a little bit of pressure. And that's going to allow us to go through and make our connections. You have your power harness connection, your turn signal, and your horn hazard switch connection. You are going to have your rear main harness, which is not going to be used. This is a completely wireless kit, so that will not be used coming out of here. Front left and front right turn signal, as well as your horn. This is where we're going to install our power harness. Up front here, you have the accessory bus bar, The one furthest to the driver's side is going to be your hot. The one in the middle is going to be your ground. So you basically take these nuts off, install them in place, and this here wire will end up attaching to your power harness. So you see we already have these here attached into our pulse bar. We're going to make our waterproof connection right here underneath, and we'll set that right alongside the bottom side of the lid. Our next step, we're going to take our dash indicator wires, which are right here, and our front extension wires. One goes to the right, one goes to the left. They are labeled. We can take and run our extension wires back in through here. You can come either from one of these here or here to get into the dash area. We'll basically be then pulling them into the machine and bolting them right up in the dash. So once that's done and complete, again, we'll go to the right hand side, routing this in front of the radiator. We'll come back later on and clean and prep all of these wires. And we're going to come down here, make our connection. This is a waterproof JST. Get a nice positive click, and then we can take and bring this back up in. If it were me, I'd pull the wires back up into the machine here, loop them together here like so, and you can zip tie them accordingly underneath. Right turn to right turn. We have our left turn here. Connect that to the left turn there. And again, these extension wires run up into the machine through either one of these areas to get into the dash. And then obviously you're going to route your machine wires accordingly. Next, we're going to do is take and hook up our horn. Our horn could be ran across the machine, and our horn will be bolted right here in that position. All right, so here's our horn. Again, we've removed this from OEM. We are going to take and just reapply, screw back in. Big thing is just make sure that you tip that horn so it comes up, that it's not touching any metal or plastic, or it will sound like a dying duck. Our next step in this installation, this is a U10 Highland, so we need to take and remove the OEM windshield wiper column shifter in order to install ours. Benefit of installing our turn lever is it has your horn, your hazards, as well as your turn signal built into one. Knowing that these units lack areas that you can plug additional accessories in, it's a big selling feature to our kit. All right, there's that. It's going to drop that down. What this is going to allow us to have is gain access to the inside here, where we've got to drop our hand down in to grab the connector on the bottom, which I know is going to be hard to see by video, but that is how we're going to gain easiest access to it. With our plug disconnected, we now can remove this from the shaft of the machine. We got a Phillips screwdriver, the bottom and the top off. This part will not be reused. What we're doing is we're going to remount this switch from here over to one of the available ports on your machine. So with a little bit of force, you're able to get that past the section there. And we're going to take this plug and drop it down to the bottom side here. You can see I'm pulling it from the bottom end. What I'm going to do then is reinstall our wiper rocker switch here. And I'm going to push that right into the existing slot. So there's your wiper as well as your wash. Take this here wire out that comes around, flip the steering up, and I'm going to route it over to the plug. Okay, here it is. Now we just simply got to plug that in to the connector down here. Nice positive click out of it, and we'll come back and clean this wiring up here when we're complete. So for this installation video, we are going to do just a adhesive mount on this. This 3M tape is extremely durable. We've already cleaned and prepped the surface. If you were to bolt this into place, you would have to drill a hole for the wires to come through, with a white JST, as well as a drill hole for your bolt to be bolted. Your bolt would then come through from the top side, bolt this into place, and secure it in. But this tape, again, is going to be extremely durable, and we're mounting this for video purposes. Take and peel the adhesive. Remember that we have already done the adhesive prep here on the back side. Taking to line it up to where you want it. You only get one chance to apply it. Once you get it applied, apply your pressure, and your light will stick there. Again, this stuff is extremely durable and will not come off. The bolt is just additional support. Next step for our lever is going to be taking and installing the bracket to the lever, utilizing your 2 bolts that are provided in the kit without dropping them. And then what we're going to do is reutilize the area which we had bolted to let the shock off from the steering column to bolt this into place. Again, this lever is going to allow you to have your turn signal, your horn, as well as your hazard built into one convenient unit. It'll be bolted right here to the left of the steering wheel. So utilizing the new nut and bolt which we supply, we're going to install it through the bracket, come here on the bottom side and install it through the bracket on the steering as well as the shock. We'll come back and tighten that later. And you have one more on the top that we'll need to install right here. Nice and tight. And we'll come back here, we're going to raise this up and tighten this bottom one. Alright, the only thing left to do now is to route our wires from the lever up through your dash to get it in the front hood of the vehicle where we'll make the connections. So I'm utilizing a wire fish. It's going to be the easiest way for you to get from the right hand or the left hand side of the dash to the center. You can use your grandma's coat hanger if that's all you have access to, or a buddy with really thin arms. Grab it here, get hold of them. We're going to take those back again across the machine. Just allows a lot quicker, easier routing of the wires. And again, once we get it up here, we're going to take that fish, come from the front side of this, and come into the center console and pull it up. You'll see we remove these 2 bolts. That's going to make it a little bit easier for you to get into the center of the vehicle. And again, right here is my wire fish coming out. And here are my wires. Open up the claws and pull it in. The game you play on Friday night at the Northwoods Bar. Got to make our final connections here, so we have our horn and hazard that we need to make the connections for. Hooking up the turn signal switch first. So our turn signal and our horn hazard. So everything is wired in here now. We've done our dash indicators, we have done our lever, we have everything wired up in the front. The only thing left to do is going back to the rear of the machine, plugging in our TY connectors as well as our receivers.
Hey, Sean again. So I was going to show you real quick on how to actually hook up the Speakeasy kit onto your machine. So this is the rear harness for an HD11. So we're going to install this like normal, unplug the factory connectors, plug these into the factory connectors, and then run this guy up to the tail light like we normally do. But instead of that rear main extension coming and plugging into this 4-pin, we're going to take this wireless module and we're actually going to plug it into the 4-pin here, and then we're going to get power from the license plate, which is here. Now, if you plan to run a license plate light, or if you purchased one, there will be a separate harness here that'll run power out to your license plate for you.
Best part about the Speakeasy kit, there's no additional teardown to route wires due to the wireless capabilities. We now need to gain access to the driver and the passenger side taillights, where we'll plug in our connectors as well as our receivers for our turn signal kit. We're going to start up here by removing the 3 bolts across the top, 1, 2, and 3. What this is going to do is allow us to pry open the side of the box to gain access to the back side of the light. With the upper 3 screws out, we now can come back here. We have to remove these 2 screws here. There's a screw also in the bottom corner and 1 push pin pliers, or push pin that we need to remove. Set those off to the side up here. Come down here, below here. Just that. And a simple push pin pliers, remove this push pin. There's that. Again, fun fact, that is all the teardown that needs to be done on this machine. No need to remove any of the center area, but that is going to get us enough room to get our hands back in here to work in what we need to. So showing for video purposes here, we have our receiving unit. This is the wireless receiver that's going to get plugged in between your OEM wires from the back of the taillight on both the left and the right hand side. It is going to basically daisy chain in the middle of it, making those connections. And that's it. So you got your OEM connection here, OEM connection there, and our TY harnesses went between it. And our receiver unit got plugged into the flat pin 4-wire as well as the license plate harness. Now, if you choose to utilize a lighted license plate from RAVEK, it will daisy chain in between here. Now all we got to do is do it on the driver's side, and we'll go and show you where we'll mount the license plate bracket. Utilizing the bolts supplied in the kit, we're going to take and utilize the 2 OEM holes here that they have the bolts in, and we're going to take and install this bracket right there. All right, let's check her out. Looks like we got running lights in the front. Got left signal, right signal. I can see it in the dash as well. We have our hazards. If you press your hazard button for 5 seconds, you're going to go into work/party mode. This is great for you guys that are either driving down a dusty trail, working in the farm, roadside, whatever it may be. Just brings additional safety through visibility. And we have our horn. Little on size, not on sound. Ready, Marcos? Left turn. Right turn. 4 ways. Party mode. And we have our brakes.